yo, people, what you saying? We are spraying back again with another About the Fan. You get me? And today, yeah, we got a Chelsea fan, yeah, who, you know what, got to big him up, yeah, because I think he's like me, where when it comes to the club, pure passion, bro. That's all it ever really is just pure passion. Us against the world type thing when it comes to our clubs, innit? So I know that you, man, are going to really enjoy this one. But what I'm going to say is just make sure, you know, with them kunais, yeah, you get me, you're hitting the targets, innit? We need to be hitting them likes, yeah, to get more people into the chat so they can hear more about CB. We need to be commenting on the video because we got to hit them algorithms and make YouTube push out this content to everybody in the Bomber Clark world. And you not only got to subscribe to the Village Hidden in the North, you also got to subscribe to CB as well, because he's trying to do his thing. And you know what we say about people in the village? We help each other out. So his channel's in the title, his channel's in the description. There is no excuses. And just a disclaimer, y'all that have been on these shows before, you know that I can't really respond to any of the chats, just because of the structure of the show, because this will be getting dropped on Spotify as well as a podcast. But if you do have any burning questions that you really want to ask CB and know the answer to, feel free to send in a super chat, and at the end I will go through all super chats. So without further ado, you know, we'll bring through CB. What you say, my bro?
What's happening, man? Thanks for having me on here, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Anytime, brother, man. You know, this is the show where, you know, it gives everybody a chance to find out about the fan, innit? Because I feel like we're always talking about footballers. We're always talking about football clubs. But what about the fans? You know, we've all got our own communities. We've all got our own followings. And yeah, I just think it's nice for me, myself as well, obviously, because we stream together, to kind of learn a bit more about your journey and about how you feel about your club, innit? You know them way there. So
no, I really like the concept, man. This is actually mad creative. I like this.
Yeah, right. Well, you know me. I'm trying to find ways that I can kind of differentiate myself from like the hundreds and thousands of other content creators in this space. So I thought, you know what? Let me try it out, see how it goes. And so far, the reception's been pretty good. A lot of people have found out that I'm not just a shameless Arsenal fan that's slewing different clubs all the time. I can actually have a fair and balanced conversation. So look, obviously this will be dropped on Spotify at some point. So I mean, where can everybody find you?
Oh, YouTube, CB1Millie Chels, Twitter, Instagram, CB1Millie, same with TikTok. And yeah, really, I'm actually someone who's really much kept to myself. I like to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So it's taken me a lot to kind of just structure everything and go out my way to just put things in place so you guys can find me and stuff, you know. It was a bit difficult. Let me dim down the light a bit though, yeah.
So what, CB, a man in the shadows now coming into the light. Yeah, man.
Literally for me it's like literally for me, I've always just been, even with sports, talking football, it's never really been my thing, innit? I've just been more so just someone that I work more in the music industry. I've been in the music for like 9-10 years, and it's been alright, innit? But so with football, how it kind of came about is just I've always been passionate with my brethren, talking ball. I'm like one of the few Chelsea fans. Me and one of my other boys growing up were Chelsea fans, and we've just been cornering United, Arsenal for years. You know, Liverpool even, like we've just been them, man. There was a couple. I know a couple guys that used to be Arsenal fans that changed to Man City when we was in like year 9. They were just doing scummy stuff, but we've always just been the alpha. Do you know what I mean? And then the group chat narrative the last 2 years has just switched to the point where we're just getting bullied. Like, it's a thing where I don't even have rebuttals anymore. I'm just like, I was losing my mind. And when I'm going on YouTube and trying to talk, or just trying to see what other Chelsea fans have to say about things, I noticed that there was a side of YouTube or the larger voices, Twitter, for example, because I never used all of my Twitter handles, Instagram. It's never been used for football stuff. It's just been my personal thing. So when I'm going out my way, I wasn't on football Twitter like that. So if I search Chelsea, I'm seeing all the big accounts, and I'm hating my ownership at this point. I'm like, you guys have killed my club, all of this, and I'm seeing so much. Oh, trust the process, guys. Oh, we're cooking. Oh, this, and it was rattling my brain. I didn't understand that because I'm going to games and no one is saying this in real life. Everyone I'm talking to about that's a Chelsea fan, we don't feel this way. But that's getting 100k likes. Oh, Enzo's the best player in the world, 150k likes. And I'm thinking, what's going on? What am I missing out here? So I just decided, you know what, let me just try and speak for the people. Really, that's where it came from.
Spread the realness. Spread the realness. I hear that. And you know what? Yeah. So I usually start the show with a question in it, like a show starter question. But for you, I've got two questions in it because I do feel that there is a very important question that only you are the only Chelsea fan that will be able to explain this to the people out there in the world. Yeah. For those that don't know, explain to us what proper Chelsea actually is.
So that one is different. Yeah, that one's a bit of a difficult one because I've been told in some cases, you know, that I'm not proper Chelsea. You know, that's just the truth, isn't it? I've been told in some cases I'm not proper Chelsea. You know, I'm a young black man, working class, you know, from East London. Like I'm not from Fulham. I'm not rich, posh, all of this. So the general narrative of a proper Chelsea, I've been told that I'm not. But I think that's bullshit. For me, if you've got the love of your club before anything, you love Chelsea before anyone, it's war. Like I'll put Chelsea over a lot of things. Like I've got a missus. My missus knows. Listen, there's nothing that you can do that's going before Chelsea. Well, I was on holiday last week. It was my last day on holiday. That's the Arsenal Chelsea game. It was our last day on the holiday. I said, bro, what? I'm not doing shit. I'm staying in. 8:30 p.m. at the time over there, and I'm watching Chelsea. That for me, if you're willing to put Chelsea before anything, that means players that you love. Like, I'm someone who I'm critical of certain players that, like for example, Hazard. Like I love Hazard as a footballer, but there's certain things about him that, as we talk more, you will understand where I stand on that. That a lot of Chelsea fans be like, what the fuck? Managers, for example, I love Jose. He went to Spurs. He went to United. That's not Chelsea. So for me, there's certain things that I just don't agree with. If you put Chelsea, the badge, before anything, you know you're ready to go to war. You burn bridges, relationships, no matter, for your club. You're proper Chelsea.
Okay, so I guess if I was to kind of think about it from an Arsenal perspective, it would kind of be like in the fan base right now, you've got a lot of people that are like, will die by the sword for Arteta. But then you've got like a large section of the fan base that are like, no, you have to always put the club first before any individual. And I guess that's kind of what you're trying to say, right? Is like, It doesn't really matter how good any individual person is doing or group of persons inside of a club. If the best for the club is not what's coming out first, then essentially you're not a proper fan. That's kind of the.
It's all about the badge and winning. Yeah. And what can we do to raise the stature of our badge? You see me, I look at Chelsea like we're Real Madrid. That's the truth. That's how I see it. I feel like once I look at that from that lens, then the standards, what I demand from us is Real Madrid level stuff, and the club will raise. But it's all about winning for me. Like I don't. There's nothing else that comes in the way of winning. I don't care if, like, for example, my favorite. Everyone loves Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is our guy. If someone said to me, "Listen, Cole Palmer gets injured and for the next 2 years, ACL, but in that process, you win the league this year and you win the Champions League next year without him," I'm taking that. And they say to him, when he comes back, he will never be the same. I'm taking that. That's me. Do you get what I'm saying? But a lot of men will be like, "Oh my gosh, how? What the what?" A lot of man, I saw a video of Arsenal fans, since we're on the topic, that was like, keep Saka or win the league, or win the league. And a lot of man said keep Saka. That is insanity to me. That's not the badge. That's Player FC.
Yeah, I saw that same video, and I get it. I do think it's don't get me wrong. I understand why some fans said it because, like, I mean, if we break it down, like, Arsenal's not a club that's struggled to win league titles throughout its history. Like, we've got the third highest titles in for English football history, and it's been a very long time since Arsenal have had a player that they can kind of get behind and like truly like represent. The Arsenal have always had like a player that kind of represents the club. Like, you know, we've had the likes of Ian Wright, we've had the likes of Bergkamp, we've had the likes of Henry, like they had Tony Adams. Like, there's always been a player that's like, that's Arsenal. And I feel like where Arsenal haven't had that for so long, they're feeling like, okay, we have that again. And usually when we have that player that we can all get behind, that's usually when we go on to win titles or win trophies, so on and so forth. So I can understand why.
I don't agree with that point though, because growing up, I'm born in 2000, so I'm 24. Yeah, growing up, obviously, I missed. I saw the latter stage of Henry, but when Henry wasn't winning leagues, but I knew he had the rep. You know what I mean? So I saw that. I remember the Champions League final and all of that. You guys were in briefly, and you guys had Henry. Then after that, when I really knew Arsenal was Fabregas. He was the man. Like, that was my favorite player at the time. Like, that hurts me to say. Obviously, after Drogba and that, I love Fabregas. And you guys didn't win nothing. And then when Fabregas left, shortly afterwards, obviously you had the little Nasri Arshavin little period they cut out as well. I remember Alexis Sanchez coming in, and once again you had the man.
Yeah.
And he never won anything in that period also. So why would Saka be the one that galvanates you guys to win trophies when you in my lifetime? Basically, I've never seen you guys have a main man who's led you to it.
Because he's from the academy. I think that's the difference. That's the difference between, like, you know, a Sanchez. Because don't get me wrong, when Sanchez came in, like, a lot of Arsenal fans were like, okay, we're gonna go do something now. Because you look at, like, at the time we had Özil, when you're thinking, okay, Özil and Sanchez in the same team, surely something's got to happen. But then, you know, obviously, like, but we like look, Arsenal, like, over the last 20 odd years have been so far away from like being a serious club that I think the last 2 seasons of Arsenal, a lot of fans have gone, okay, maybe we're getting back to, you know what I mean, the Arsenal of old, the Arsenal that you wouldn't have seen in it, the Arsenal that a lot of Arsenal fans now haven't seen. Like, so I've seen it. So obviously, when I talk about Arsenal, I always talk about Arsenal from a different perspective because I was one of the fortunate ones that got to see Arsenal be great. So, and then on the flip side, you have to appreciate, which is very different to yourself, because on the flip side, I also saw a Chelsea that you didn't see, a Chelsea that, yeah, you were winning the odd trophy here and there, but you weren't really the Chelsea that you know. Because the Chelsea that you know is a different Chelsea. And it's like the Arsenal that people of your age group know is what they're seeing now is the best that they've ever seen as an Arsenal fan. There is no better. Like, for them to see better, they actually have to go and watch videos of old, which I always implore people to do. Any fan base, I always implore, go and look at like old videos, watch old games, watch old interviews, read up on your club, learn the history, so on and so forth, in it, because that's part of being a fan. But it's just the reality, right? Like right now, well, I mean, the season's kind of started off a bit crazy for Arsenal, innit? Not the way that I thought it would, but we're slowly getting back to being at that place again. And I feel now we're at the point where I personally feel the Arsenal fan base need to kind of unite on the one kind of ideal, is that we have to win the league this season. And if we don't win the league this season, then we need to start thinking about pastures new, because we've gone through we would have gone through a 5-6 year process for us to still not be anywhere near getting the trophy in it. So you have to ask questions, at least in my opinion, in it. And I don't want anyone out there that listens back to this or anything to put the 4-4 at me, because these are my opinions, and I'm not saying that they have to be taken on board by everybody, but it's just the reality, right? Like, Arsenal need to get back to that point. Just how, like, you're probably sitting there now, seeing what's happened under Clearlake, and now seeing what Maresca's been doing early doors with the Chelsea team, and you're probably thinking, okay, I can see where we're going again. Like, I can kind of see where we're going again, but I need that silverware to fully believe in whatever is currently happening at Chelsea now. But I have another question for you, yeah. I think it's a fun question, yeah. So, what is the proper Chelsea starting 11, and what trophies would they win in a season?
As in what? My Chelsea all time?
Yeah.
Obviously, check and goal. Right back, I'll put Ivanovic, but I would respect if someone said Aspilicueta. He's won everything for Chelsea as a captain, which is crazy when you think about it. Actually, no, he didn't win the league. He won the league, but he wasn't a captain. But yeah, I'll put Aspilicueta right back, Carvalho and Terry centre backs, Cole left back. Midfield is where it gets dicey. I'll probably have to do a diamond. No, actually, I might have to do a diamond, just to get the players I want in. I'll do a diamond 4-4-2. I'd have Kante, Lampard. No, do you know what? I'm gonna do a 4-2-3-1. I'll do Kante, Lampard. Alright, this is tough, because there's a couple men I don't want to leave out. What are we doing this? Are we doing guys that have what they were when they were at Chelsea, or just their names, their rep?
So let's do it like this, yeah. Any player that you're picking them in their prime.
Okay, then I'm gonna do 4-2-3-1. Lampard in the 10, Makelele, Kante pivot. Then I'm doing Hazard on the left, Zola on the right, Drogba up top.
And what trophies do you think that team wins that season?
Treble.
What are they winning? The treble.
I think they can win the league, the Champions League, and a domestic cup. Because you need to realize, yeah, even that team that we had, a lot of man that, for example, the 04-05 team, 15 goals conceded, 1 loss. I know this may be biased of me, but if we're just talking as a team, as a unit, I think we were better than the Invincibles. That team was better than the Invincibles team. You guys had a longer, obviously the unbeaten record. I won't take that away from you. That was quality. We lost to 1-0 to Man City over a penalty. And it is what it is, isn't it? But in that era, it shows that it was doable to go a long period of time without losing games if you're good enough. Yeah. Because that was 2 years on back to back. But then I think about the Champions League, the Luis Garcia phantom goal in the semi-final. We could have went to it was things. The football gods weren't happy with us, innit? We were doing the mad thing with the money, so I understand. And then I look at we could have went to the Champions League final in that period. We won the Carabao Cup, so I think we would have beat Milan in that final as well. So we was that close. That's not even the all-time prime. That's just a team. We was that close to the treble, innit? So it's unfortunate. And then if we're just talking the defense and the midfield, the creativity we got there, I don't think no one's that all-time team. I don't know, but I don't know anyone that's stopping that, I'll be honest.
Okay. Some big talk. All right, cool. So look, yeah. Tell me about your journey as a Chelsea fan. How did it start? Why did you choose Chelsea? And has there ever been a moment throughout being a Chelsea fan where you've questioned your decision?
How it started, my dad's a Chelsea fan. My house is literally, it's a civil war. There's my mum, my oldest brother are Arsenal. Mum, oldest brother, and my little brother right after me are Arsenal. I always tell my little brother after me he's a weirdo for doing that, but so he's Saka's biggest fan. Every year we're winning the Champions League. He's one of them, man. So yeah, that's their Arsenal. Then me and my dad are Chelsea, and then I've got little siblings now, which I've just recruited. But it used to just be me and my dad at the time. How I became, well, we used to have cassettes, you know, the VCRs back in the day.
Yeah.
And my whole house was straight Arsenal. My older brother would just be watching you lot's FA Cup run at the time, like the cassettes of that, your Invincibles. Like I remember seeing like my earliest. I think the first game I actually remember watching was club football was an Arsenal game. You lot smoked one team at Highbury, like I think like 8-0, 7-0, something dumb like that. I think it was Everton. Yeah, like that's my first ever club game I remember watching. It was Arsenal. My first football kit was a Chelsea kit actually. But how I became a Chelsea fan was watching the Champions League. My dad used to always bring me to go watch Chelsea games, like at the stadium. Or at the stadium it happened a bit later, but he used to always take me out to pubs or link his brethren at for. As I don't know why, yeah, but all the AFs were just Chelsea fans.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Like it's just always been that way. It's like AF-man's team. Like, obviously, growing up, like the Chelsea team, I remember we had Jeremy, Makalele, Drogba. Like, there was just it was just an AF team. You get what I'm saying? So, we used to all link. I used to always go to my cousin's house, and all the AFs were just watching Chelsea, and we'd just be there. And then we was watching Chelsea versus Barcelona. I remember this game. It's the game where I said I'm a Chelsea fan. And Ronaldinho's done that little, just hit it. And I was like, what? Like, I felt a feeling like, what the fuck? Why am I angry that they just scored against us?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, like, and I like the socks, the blue and white combination at the time. So I was like, yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan. And I've always just been super Chelsea. The first Chelsea game I ever went to, I was in year 5. Yeah, I was in year 5, 09-10 season. So I used to be a bit bad in school. Like, not, I won't even say bad. I got good grades and that, but I used to be that kid that's a distraction. You can sit me next to anyone and I'm going to talk to you all day. And it was one of them ones. So I remember parents even the ones where the teachers even talking about all the good things I've done. And they go, oh, yeah, but he's a bit talkative. They've taken that home, like, oh, like this and that, getting on to me. So my dad was like, listen, if you just behave, by the time it's the next parents' evening or whatever, I'll take you to see Chelsea. And that meant a lot to me. Like, just, I've always, at the time, like, from the moment I was into football, I used to bang ball. I used to play for Arsenal when I was like 7, not that serious, you know. But I even left Arsenal because it didn't feel right. I used to say it like, it didn't feel right. Like, I didn't even want to go. We'd be going training, get ready to go every Friday. We used to go to near the A46 near Sainsbury's. That's where them lot used to train. And I used to dread it. Sometimes I used to hide under the bed because I just didn't want, I felt like I was cheating. Do you know what I mean? Even when I was to play Pez, you know, the cover of Pez, I think it was like 05. It used to be Terry. There was one with Terry on there, and then there was one with Drogba and Henry on that one, yeah? My brother is a super Arsenal fan, yeah? He's cut Drogba at the picture. I never played it again. I used to just play FIFA Street. I stopped playing Pez. That's how Chelsea I am. I stopped playing Pez. Because I was like, well, how are you doing that? I don't even want to touch the disc. It was just Henry by himself with a thing. I was like, no, I'm not playing no more. But that's how it was, like, for me. So, yeah, I went to go see. So, my first Chelsea game was the last game of the season, 09-10, against Wigan. We won 8-0 at the Bridge, and we lifted the trophy up. And I remember, like, Drogba scored a hat-trick. Lampard got some goals in, and it just felt so surreal. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, genuinely, I think I even cried that day. That's probably my best memory I've ever had with my dad. And my dad was literally like to me, like, treasure these moments, because I never saw this as a Chelsea fan. Like, the fact that you get to come here, you're seeing me win the league, like, it was never like this for us. All of this, I'm like, bro, cool, whatever. But this is why I'm wired this way. This is why my standards are so high, because I want to give that feeling to my kids. Yeah. You know, I wanna take my kids to Stamford Bridge, or whatever the new stadium will be one day, and we're winning titles. And I'm seeing the fact that the standard was set so high for me. 8-0 win in the league, clean sheet. We don't even see that these days. 8-0 win, clean sheet, lift the title, golden boot. Drogba clinched the golden boot. I even saw them give him the golden. I'm seeing that standard of football being played, and I'm like, okay, I'll never want this to end. So then, to answer your question about if I ever considered I made the right choice, I wouldn't even say no, I wouldn't say that. Never. I've never considered whether making the right choice just off the feelings. But the last 2 years, when we had that spell under Potter, the first year when they sacked Tuchel, when it was like we hadn't won in like over a month. We went February with 1 goal in the league. Our goal of the not even the league, just all competitions. Our goal of the month was like a Yao Felix tap in, and we was in the mud. I wasn't even questioning the choice I made, yeah, but I was questioning what I did in life for me to get what I got, what I'm feeling right now. Like I always feel like, when I do good deeds, for example, like I said in the 09-10 season when my dad was getting on to me about behaving in school and I behaved, we won the league. In 2012, like I was just, I was actually just doing the right things at the time. We won the Champions League. 2021, yeah, I was before them years prior to that, I was in uni, just moving mad, chatting to bare girls, wilding out. 2021 was pandemic. I was at home, chilling, behaving. We won the Champions League. I like to think the things I've done in life is what result to this. So I really sat there when I was looking at the form, and I was like, what have I done? I had to strip myself back as a human and just say, what have I done? Like, you don't. Oh, you guys don't even know the story about my hair. I used to be a low trim guy. Like, I never used to grow my hair. Nothing. I started growing my hair, yeah, when we won the Champions League, and I said to myself, I'm not gonna cut my hair until we win it again.
Oh,
Everyone was like, yeah, good. And even at the time, I thought we was going back to back. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's how gassed I was. I was like, listen, we're going back to back. It's calm. Whatever. We were even that Real Madrid tie. I think if we beat Real Madrid in that second leg, we would have won it again, innit? We didn't win it. And it was at the time it was just a joke, yeah, like I'm not cutting my hair until we win it again. Bro, it's been 3 years. It's been almost 4 years now. Man's not cut my hair, innit? I don't know when I'm even gonna do it, if I'm being honest with you.
you
But
might not
yeah,
be cutting your hair for a good 10 years,
no, I wouldn't go that far, man. I wouldn't go that far. I won't go that far. I don't know, man. I don't know because it's weird. Like, we see with Chelsea, the years we've won the Champions League, like 2021, for example, when Tuchel took over, we was 9 points off relegation, and we've gone and won it. 2012, we were sixth in the league. Like, we was awful. Unless Villas-Boas, when he got sacked, I think we was 11th. And we've come in with an interim manager he's never managed before, and we won it. So it can happen at any moment, generally. But I don't know, man. Oh, excuse me, man. I don't know, man.
So, like, look, you spoke a bit about, obviously going that first game you went to as a Chelsea fan, and I guess I'll still ask the question because maybe you can answer it from a different perspective. But I guess aside from that, is there any other moment, I guess, as a Chelsea fan that resonates with you the most and like really sticks with you, and are you able to paint us like that picture of that moment?
I've got two other moments. The first one was the 08 Champions League final, of course. That's the only time I've cried over a club like footy. I've never just watched a game of football and cried over the results. But that day, that killed me, man. That killed me. And John Terry's from my area, innit? I'm from Dagenham, so John Terry's actually from my area. I always looked at Terry like a hero to me, yeah. But there's a part of me, if I was to meet him today, I'm gonna have to G-check him about that, because that was just wrong, generally. But yeah, that one definitely sticks to me. I don't even really have to explain why. And then the other one is Drogba's header, the equalizer in 2012, because I thought we was done. I'll be honest, yeah, going into that final, I didn't think we were going to win it anyway. Like, that's the craziest thing. I didn't think we was going to win it anyway because we had the injuries. John Terry was suspended. Cahill and David Luiz got injured. They pulled their hamstrings in the FA Cup final the week before against Liverpool. And we just had a makeshift back four. We had Ryan Bertrand playing left wing. He even made his debut that game. Lampard he had a knock at the time, and we just held on, it was weird. But I knew from the moment they scored, even though football was playing was haram, we was not playing. It was Pax Rums was in their stadium, like it was haram. We was not playing football. We were just sitting back and hoofing it. Like, I remember that one of the only shots we had that whole game was Drogba slapping it from like 50 yards and it was off target. So when they scored, I was just deflated. I was like, well done. I'm lying down on the floor. Like everyone, like I mentioned, my house is Arsenal, so they're all hating, yeah, cheering. I'm just like, cool, we're done, innit? We got the corner, yeah, and I didn't even think nothing of it. I was just watching it like, let's just, bro, this game's done, innit? I'm not speaking, and just to watch the header go in and the way it went in, this is when it now boils the conversation with me, like I say all the time. Generally speaking, I think if we're talking the last 20 years, yeah, strikers of our generation, yeah, 20 years, I've got Drogba in the top three. He has to be in the top three just off the fact that he's carried that team, which weren't good enough because his goal against Napoli in the knockout tie save put us through. That goal in the first leg against Barcelona in the semi-final had us. He got he got assist against Benfica in that Champions League run, and then he single-handedly won us that competition. And like, just I can't lie, you have to give him credit there, man. But they're the two moments for me that resonate. I'll never forget those moments in my life.
And I'll be real, like, you know, I won't go too deep into it, but I have as an Arsenal fan, I have a special type of hatred for Drogba in it because he was just always bullying my club, man. I can't like he's probably the one striker that I would like, not vividly, but like I have like this kind of not fear, but like this faint kind of like when I think about him, like, oh, bun this guy, man, because when I was growing up, like every time this brother would go against it's like, yeah, he just always had to prove, yeah, you man had Henri, but I'm Drogba.
Yeah,
Felt like
literally.
against Arsenal, it just felt like he just always had to prove that. And I was like, bro, allow it, man. Like Arsenal, we've done so much for the AFs. Like, why are you taking it out on us, man? Like, allow it, bro. But yeah, Drogba, he was a demon. Like, I won't lie. Like, he's probably the arguably the one type of player that you lot are probably missing.
Yeah.
A lot. Like, obviously there's like you could also argue like maybe a John Terry, like and a Lampard because of like leadership. But I mean like just someone who like 9 times out of 10, you put the ball into the box, it's going into the net. Like that's Arsenal are very similar in that sense as well. So but obviously, you know, those obviously I know now because I've already asked you the question. But there's some people out there that may not know that Drogba and Hazard are your favorite Chelsea players of all time. Yeah. Why is that?
Do you know, I want to change my answer actually. Yeah? I'll say Drogba, yeah, but I'm going to change Hazard for Lampard. And
Okay.
I'll explain why a bit after. But in terms of Drogba, for me, Drogba was just I knew you could, you know, as men in this world, there's not a lot of people you can really just put a lot of trust in. You know, you can say, you know, I count on you. No matter what, I believe in you. You're not gonna do nothing that's gonna make me doubt you. That was Drogba. There was not every single time we needed him or was in doubt. I knew everyone knew. As you know, as a fan base, yeah, the feeling of comfort you have, yeah, to know no matter what, I know we're going into this game, Drogba scoring. That's how it felt like. Any big game, whether we're facing Barcelona, we're facing Arsenal, United, it doesn't matter who. He had a spooky United record at Old Trafford, though. I remember that, and then he came through in the title decider. But other than that, yeah, anytime, and in the FA Cup final as well against United. But anytime we're going into a big game, whether it's a cup final, a semi-final, we're facing Barcelona in the Champions League or a big team, I know, yeah, Drogba scored. Everyone has a fan base. Like, I'm sitting at home with my uncles were like, yeah, don't worry, Drogba's going to get his goal. Hopefully the defense can do the rest. That's how we was going into games. And I used to think that was just the norm. But you will never ever see something like that again. In terms of just clutch, like, obviously now Messi's kind of rebranded himself over the last couple, the Copa America 21 and World Cup 22. But I used to really debate like Drogba's more clutch than Messi. Like if it really came to my life on the line, I'm taking Drogba. That's just what it was for me. There's no better way to put it. Then on top of that, it wasn't really just the goals for him. Like there was a lot of times in our history where he was just like big defensive moments who come through. Like he used to be massive defensively in corners, all of that. On top of that, it's just this all-around game, man. we used to literally just kick the ball to him. Sometimes we're suffering. The football we play now, it's weird, yeah, because you guys play like how we used to play, and we play like how you lot. It's fucked. We kind of switched, and it pisses me off in a sense. But I miss our old football because he made it, but it was only possible because of him. We literally used to sit back all game and just hoof it to Drogba. Drogba's hold up plays, something you've never seen in this world before, where you can just stand on the ball, feed off two players, carry the ball, dribble, pass it to Lampard, and then we got a goal. It's fucked. We don't like that. It was a cheat code. We could play that style of football simply because we had him in our team. Like he's the hold up, he could score with both feet, left, right, no matter where, outside the box, inside the box. He runs off the ball. Like he was mad technical as well for it. Like, a lot of people don't give him credit for his technicality. The guy was banging Rabonas and all sorts of like he was mental. So Drogba, of course, that's my favorite player ever to ever play the game. If anyone's wondering who's after Drogba all time, like just outside of Chelsea, for me is Neymar. Drogba and Neymar are my two favorite players. And then why I've taken Hazard out and put Lampard in is because for Hazard, I was just thinking about when you asked me yesterday, and I was like, just as Chelsea, yeah, the fact that Hazard, for me, my issues with Hazard are, well, like I mentioned as well earlier, my standards are Real Madrid level standards.
Yeah.
Now, Hazard didn't win us the Champions League. He's got 2 Europa Leagues, credit for that, but that's not the pinnacle. We used to be a Champions League or bust kind of team. We were winning the league, and Roman would sack managers because he wants the Champions League. That's what the standard was for us. So you didn't get the Champions League, I can't put him there 1. The Champions League record isn't great. He's only got 2 knockout goals. Both of them are penalties against PSG consolation goals. 13-14 semi-final, he had a 1-on-1 against Atletico Madrid at home to put us through, and he missed the sitter. We lost the tie 3-1. That alone, these type of things, and then on top of that, what clinched it for me is the last 3 years of his Chelsea career, he was publicly begging for a move to Real Madrid. So all of these things here, yeah, I just as Chelsea, I can't put you as in the all-time, my favorite all-time. That's just wrong. So on top of that, Lampard is another player who doesn't get a lot of credit. We'll never see something like Lampard again. The closest we have to Lampard, we've seen since Lampard, is probably KDB, just the output. But because of Lampard's output, he gets disregarded as a player. His all-round game was crazy. Leadership, showed up in big moments. He's got goals in Champions League finals. Like, he's got more finals goals than Henry, which is crazy. And then I look at just his all-round, what he brought to the table, how many years he was doing it. He was literally an out-and-out best player on our team for maybe 8 years on the bounce. He was in Ballon d'Or podiums. I'm sorry, man. He's got to be Lampard, man.
He also has, isn't he, like, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't he hold like some sort of like stupid record for like his scoring ability from midfield?
He's Chelsea's all-time goal scorer.
That's even crazy as well, because I mean you just throwed a bit of shade on Henry, but Drogba's not even your top goal scorer. It's Lampard, and he's a midfielder. So what I'm saying, like, you know what I mean?
How many goals does Lampard have in the league? Henry have in the league? I know he's got like 166 for Arsenal in general, right? Or something like that.
Nah, he's in 200.
226, sorry, yeah, something like that. And then he came back.
I think 165 or 175, something like that. Off the top of my head, I don't know about in the Premier League. I say this while looking at the.
I know Lampard's Premier League goal numbers. I think I just saw like 109 or something like that, 110. So he's an all-time great
in the Premier League.
That's Henry, yeah, 155.
Yeah, real G.
Lampard's an all-time great in terms of goal scoring. He's 110 goals, 109 goals in the league. On top of that, he's like top 3 in assists. Like KDB recently just broke his assist number. And then you got to consider the fact that Lampard and Drogba both played under pragmatic coaches their whole career at Chelsea. The only time they had an attacking coach was the 2 seasons under Ancelotti, 09-10, where Drogba got 29 goals, 10 assists in 32 games in the league and went to AFCON. So that's crazy numbers in itself. Lampard was followed behind him. I don't remember Lampard's number that season, but we've never been an attacking team. The fact that we have a midfielder that was getting assists and goal numbers, top 5 goal scorer, top 3 assists, and you're playing under a defensive manager. Most games we're winning 1-0, and I'm sitting back subbing on Mikel, and parking the bus for the rest of the game. That is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I say this here. Generally, I think Lampard, I'm not gonna say better than, because I think the international pedigree is what stops him in that conversation. But I think he sits on the same table as the Xavis and Iniesta when we talk about midfielders of that generation. Just how long he did it, what they won in terms of European pedigree. Lampard was touching teams of the years consistently in terms of Champions League team of the seasons and all of that. He finished second in the Ballon d'Or to prime Ronaldinho. He won the Champions League, goals in finals. The output he was putting in, I think so. The only thing that stops him is that, and the thing with Xavi and Iniesta, they were never the best player in their teams. They had Ronaldinho, they had Eto'o, they had Messi, they had Suarez, they had Neymar. They were never the best. Lampard was the best player in our team consistently throughout. So yeah.
So you got a lot of praise for Lampard. So you know what? Yeah, just a quick one. Yeah, and obviously try to be as unbiased as possible and give some reasoning as well. Who was the better midfielder, Lampard, Gerrard, or Scholes?
For me, I have Lampard as above them, just off the ability to just do everything. You know, just he was at time when he was called upon, he'd be our defensive anchor. Of course, he had the luck of playing in front of Makelele, Essien, you know, just insane ball winners. But just all round, I'll say Lampard. Anytime there was a big game, it was very rare that he's not going to show up. And the levels he was playing at, whether you wanted to play as an 8, he could do it. As a 6, he could do it. As a 10, he could do it. As a second striker, he could do it. If you need him to just sit back, dictate, create chances, he can do it. If you need goals, he'll show up. For me, that's why I got Lampard. And then for me, like I said at the start of this episode, it comes down to winning for me. So I think Lampard's a better player. I think it really is Lampard and Gerrard you could debate in terms of ability. I think they're both better than Scholes, in my opinion, innit? But they say Scholes' prime was in the 90s. I didn't really watch that. So, but I got Lampard and Gerrard above Scholes. But what separates Lampard and Gerrard for me is just the winning. When it really came to it, Lampard showed up. Them title run-ins, man. He got the 2 goals that won us the league, our first league title in 50 years. He was like the things Lampard was doing and had the impact he had on winning for us. I've got to give it to him. Other than Gerrard's 05 Champions League, and if you look at that 05 Champions League, I've rewatched that game. If you have Footballia, I recommend everyone to go rewatch that game and watch the goals that AC Milan conceded. That first goal was offside. The linesman even waved offside. They ignored him, continued play, and Liverpool scored. You look at Dudek's penalty saves when he's literally making eye contact with the shot taker, and all of these ran. There's a massive asterisk in that 05 Champions League final, but we can let it run. Then I look at the amount of countless moments when Gerrard let down Liverpool. When he's passed out, he did a pass back for Henry, cost them the title. Pass back to Drogba, cost them the title. Pass back to Henry in the 04 Euros and cost us, and Zidane scored the penalty. There's been countless moments when Gerrard's let us down. I look at the 2014 World Cup when he captained us and we got group staged. I'm looking at all of these things and I'm saying, right, okay, there's a level of gaons, you know, like balls, like you got to have it in you. He just don't have that it factor. I'm not even mentioning the slip. We can say that, but that's the elephant in the room. We know this already. I don't have to mention these things. So I'm looking at all of these levels of Gerrard time and time again. The moment being too big for him, slipping on his ass, passing the ball back countless times, costing his team in the long run. And then that one time he does show up, there's a massive asterisk on it. Or you can consider the FA Cup against West Ham. Okay, I'm not here putting Lampard's FA Cups against Everton. Do you know what I mean? It's just like we've been doing that. So there's levels to it. I've got to have Lampard above it, surely.
There's gonna be a lot of Liverpool fans doing that witchcraft for you in the video still. But yeah, cool. So look, because you did originally say Hazard, I'll keep him in this next question. I'll keep him in
All
there.
right.
So
Yeah.
we'll do Drogba, Hazard, Lampard. Only one of them can come into this Chelsea team now. Which one are you picking and why?
I'm gonna say Drogba. I'm a fan of Nico Jackson. Like I love strikers. Like I used to play as a striker. I love strikers. My dad, my older brother was a midfielder. My dad used to always just be getting on to him about midfielders. So the two positions I say I like to think I'm knowledgeable of are midfielders and strikers. In terms of Nico Jackson, I love him to bits. I can't lie, but there's certain things in his game that he just don't have, and I think Drogba could. I look at where we are as a team. In terms of midfield, yeah, it would be nice to have some goals in our midfield. I'm actually happy. I'm very happy with Caicedo. I'm not saying Caicedo, I'll take Caicedo over Lampard, no way, but I'm very happy with Caicedo in our midfield. We've got someone like Palmer who could do Hazard-esque things in terms of creativity and goal threat, etc. But we're lacking a Drogba, and we've been lacking a Drogba. We papered over the cracks temporarily with Diego Costa for them 2-3 years, but we've been missing Drogba since the moment he left us. Even when Diego Costa came in his first season, 14-15, Drogba came back for the year and we won the league. So
Yeah.
we really actually have only won one league title without Drogba. When he came, he ended our 50-year league drought, by the way. So I think we're missing there in terms of the aerial threat. We don't have no one that can we crossing the box every week, man. No one's scoring headers. The hold up that Jackson brings, Drogba does it at a higher level. Yeah, man, I think it's Drogba. And then I would say Lampard because if after Drogba, because we need a Enzo replacement. So I'll take that any day of the week.
Okay.
And then do you know what's crazy? Just thinking about it now, like I look at who's wearing their numbers, like because this when I look at players wearing our greats numbers, it's like I'm looking at their gravestone, and I'm like, Noni Madueke is wearing Drogba's number. Mudryk is wearing Hazard's number. Guanzo Fernandez is wearing Lampard's number. And then you guys, oh my gosh, God forbid, Clayton, like CB, you're such bad vibes. Oh my gosh, how dare you be so negative against Clear Lake? Oh my gosh, it's the old days. Oh, Roman was holding us back. Look at the standard, look at the type of ilk of footballer we was just talking about. Them three numbers. Hazard, number 10 is Mudryk's. Number 11, Drogba, the great Drogba, like we've just been talking non-stop about Drogba's greatness. Noni Madueke. You get what I'm saying? And then Lampard's 8. And then what's crazy is that number 8 shirt that Enzo wears, yeah? I look at the previous number 8s in my lifetime. Lampard, Champions League, one Champions League, one Europa League, 4 league titles, just greatness. Ballon d'Or podiums. And then after that number 8, you could pass it on to Oscar, who won us a league title. Then it got passed on to Ross Barkley, who won us a league title. No, not a league title, a Europa League, European trophy. And then even Oscar won a European trophy. Kovacic, Champions League. What's Enzo done for us? A back heel, 1-on-1 and goal in the Carabao Cup final. These are the things. Pedro was wearing that number 11 before Noni. Pedro, one of the most underrated wingers of all time. He scored in every single final he's played in.
I agree. Very underrated.
Look at this, man. It's actually a disgrace. And then James Poole, big ups to you, man. And like we're all Chelsea, all family here. It doesn't take 2 years. Roman came in and won the league in his first season. Simple. Even where we are today, like, because you mentioned it earlier, like we're talking about Maresca and all of these things, and like I'm happy we're not as bad as we were last year. But what's the difference between when Clear Lake took over? We finished 3rd in the league, Champions League quarter finalists, Carabao Cup, FA Cup finalists. And we won the Super Cup and the Club World Cup that year as well, if I'm not mistaken. I look at that team. We finished 3rd, but we knew we could go toe-to-toe with the likes of Real Madrid if we wanted to. It was 3-0 up at the Bernabeu. If we faced Arsenal, we would all be confident we can go toe-to-toe. Same with United, Liverpool, City, whoever. I look at us now, and even at the time, we was not happy as a fan base. We wanted more. There's a reason why we wanted that big transfer window. We wanted to improve on the team. We thought like we should be winning the league. That was the standard. If we're not winning the Champions League, it's a disgrace. We wanted to go back to back. That was the standard. Clear Lake have come in, 12th place finish, 6th place finish. Yeah, let's make Potter our manager. Let's give the keys to Poch. All of these things. We got all these bum players. And now, 3rd place, you guys will take, and it's a celebration. I will be surprised. I'll be shocked if I don't see a trophy parade if we finish 3rd. And what's the difference between us doing that, finishing 3rd, and we can't even beat big teams anymore? So we're actually where we were when they got us, minus the big game pedigree. I don't understand this, but everyone's so happy now, isn't it? Like it's crazy. If we're not winning the league, bro, what's the point?
I think that, potentially a lot of Chelsea fans are happy now for the same reason that a lot of Arsenal fans were happy when they first saw us go on the title challenge in that 22-23 season, is because you've had, and I mean, for Chelsea, it's been a small period, but you've had that kind of small period of being so far away from what you associate with Chelsea to now, okay, we're in 11 games in, we're swinging about the top 4, which Chelsea, I mean, in the Roman era, like, yeah, you was winning the leagues and yada, 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 and winning this, winning that, but you was always swinging around the top 4 in it. And I feel like for you to even win a league, you have to be able to first compete for it. And that's arguably, I think it's a bit too early to talk about who's competing and title races and all of that. But for you to even be considered in a title race, I think that at this point in the season, you need to at least be in and around the top 4, which you are. So obviously, when we get to like maybe late January, early February, if you lot are still anywhere from 1st until 4th, I think you as a Chelsea fan could easily go and say, cool, let's go win the title this year. Like, and that's why I feel like a lot of Chelsea fans are happy right now, because like you said, the first season you finished 12th. That's crazy, bro. Like, from where you came from to like have to accept that your team finished 12th, crazy. Now you as a when I say new age Chelsea fan, I don't mean in a disrespectful way, but like you said, 2000. So you've only seen the good elements of Chelsea to a degree. Like, for me, you finishing 6th is what I was used to. That's just what Chelsea was. Like, your average finish before Roman was 6th. So I guess you could kind of say you at least went from being so far away from what Chelsea was to slowly getting back to what Chelsea was with that 6th place finish. And to be fair, to be fair, if Manchester United don't win that, was it FA Cup? Yeah, don't win that FA Cup, you man are in the Europa League and not the Conference League. So then that season under Poch looks a lot better than what it was, right? Because I know that you finishing 6th, you had a very bad start to that season. So for you to make it to 6th, for me, that's like a success in itself. Like, but I hear it. There's some fans out there that unless you're showing me that you're winning the majors, then it's dead. Whereas I'm more of the fan where like I can acknowledge the positives that don't all, because for me, football doesn't just revolve around trophies in it. Because for me, if that was the case, yeah, then I should only watch my club if we make it to a final, and I should only watch my club if we have a chance of winning the league on the final game of the season, innit? But for me, football's about the experience. Football's about the highs and the lows in a season. Football, to a degree, is about the entertainment, which is part of why I'm really annoyed this season with my club, because not only are we struggling, we're not looking good on the pitch. We're not playing good football. Like, I appreciate football. I like watching good football. So for me, that's part of it. Like, I've been to the ground, and I don't care what anyone says, and anyone that's actually been to an actual football match will probably agree. When you're there in that ground watching the football match, you don't care about where you are in the table. You're just in that football match. Like, you're just focused on what's happening on the pitch. And for me, that's also an element of football that I feel gets heavily disregarded in this age of football. And I think a lot of that is to do with like social media and the back and forths that people have on social media and the haha, my club's better than yours and all of that stuff. But there is an element of football where you have to just appreciate it. And you even said like your second favorite player of all time is Neymar. Neymar is like the very embodiment of the essence of football. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's clearly a side of you that appreciates football, but obviously when it comes to your club, because, and I mean, like, again, like you said, your first game was that Wigan game. When you get me, you won, and so from the very beginning, you saw a trophy, and you're probably going through your life remembering that feeling, and when it's like it's not matching up to that feeling, that's where the imbalance comes, and you're like, okay, I don't feel the same way I felt back then. So you're probably always trying to chase that feeling, and I understand that, but I just think that football is so much more than just, yeah, man, game week 38, safe. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying in terms of, obviously, yes, the football in itself is entertainment at the end of the day. Is to be enjoyed. I do understand that, and I genuinely feel bad for you Arsenal fans of what's going on right now, because the switch is mental. I've always known you guys, no matter what, you man play the best foot in the league. Whether you guys were winning or losing, that was your philosophy. I look at you guys like Barcelona, where you have a philosophy of a certain style of play, and no matter what, you have to stick to the philosophy, hopefully to win. That's what I've known. So the fact that you guys are throwing your philosophy out the window and you're still not winning, I feel bad, honestly. No jokes. But so I do get that in terms of entertainment factor. But for me, just winning plays a massive part in terms of just sports in itself, like professional sports, high level sports. The aim of it is to win, like I have debates all the time with my LeBron James guy. I don't know if you watch basketball. A lot of guys, my older brother, for example, is a Michael Jordan guy, and it comes down to he won 6, bro. He won 6. That is it's winning. When everyone is all said and done and all these players retire, they're not gonna be looking back at the time that they finished third in 2022 or 20. You know what I mean? Like, no one cares, bro. Win the trophy. That's what really matters to me. Like, that's just what it matters to me in that sense. But why it upsets me in terms of trophy, why I demand. Firstly, you said so much in terms of what you said about the expectations and the title race and being in the top 4 for now. I agree with you. Going into the season, my expectations, I literally said I want us to be top 3 by Christmas. If we're third by Christmas Day, then we can go out there. I know our ownership, if they see raw, we could actually do something here, because we didn't address anything that we were supposed to do this window. We knew we needed a goalkeeper, a centre back, and a striker. We got none of those. But it's calm. We got Sancho though. Ooh, vibes. But so hopefully we address that in the window and we're third and we can actually go and try to win the league. I would really appreciate that. The reason why is, for me, there's such an emphasis on winning. It's just like you mentioned, I'm a new age fan, like you could say. All I've known is us winning. I've never yet in my life, supporting Chelsea, gone 2 years with no trophy. This is the first time ever. 2 years back to back, no trophy. A third one, and I don't want to hear Conference League. A third one, I don't know what I'll do. I was already at my breaking point last year. I don't know what I'll do. I don't even want to think about that. So we need to get done. And on top of that, the ownership themselves said that this was a 4-window plan. They said it would be a 4-window plan for us to be ready to compete for titles with the likes of Liverpool and not Liverpool, with the likes of City and Arsenal. That's what they told us. The 4th window ended in September. And like I mentioned earlier, they didn't address anything that we needed as a team. We knew we needed a goalkeeper going into this window. We knew we needed a centre back. Even though Fofana's actually been good this season, I'm worried every single time he's playing that knee. If he goes down, we're literally one injury away from seeing Disasi starting again or Badger Shield starting again. The Monaco twins. We don't want that. And then I'm looking at the fact that we ain't got no striker. Maresca himself has said he's Nkunku's not a 9. He said it like 2 weeks ago. He's not a 9, but just to a way our squad's been built, we need to just play him in the 9. there's certain games where it calls for a different profile than Jackson. As much as I like him,
Yeah,
it just is what it is. That I saw Chelsea have Anelka, and at first I saw Drogba, Shevchenko, Crespo competing for the 9. Then I
yeah,
saw Anelka and Drogba competing. Then Torres and Drogba and Sturridge and
yeah,
Lukaku. And there's always been top strikers, multiple, that are competing for the role, sometimes even playing together. That's
yeah,
how we're meant to be built. So that hasn't been addressed. But they've told us after that 4th window, that's when you can judge us. I've
yeah,
been judging them from the beginning, but now they've said it, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I do see us an improvement from last year, the last 2 years. I'm not dense. I do see that, but you said compete. I'm not happy being floating in top 4. I want to compete, and
yeah,
any opportunity we've had to face all the big boys, we have showed that we're not ready to compete. Like, I think you guys were there for the taking. We didn't have the heart. Same with United, we didn't have the heart. Liverpool, I think we were the better team, but we just don't have that. There's something missing in us that we need to take over when it comes to these big games, or if we want to look at competing for trophies.
yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, yeah. You're definitely. That's why I said I think you're missing a Drogba, and I like you
Yeah,
identified it. Like Drogba in that Arsenal game, you win. Drogba in that United game, you win. Drogba in that Liverpool game, you probably win as well. So I mean, to us, and it's very similar. It's so similar to Arsenal because the one thing that Arsenal needed above all else this window was a 9. That's what
yeah,
Arsenal needed. Arsenal. I've always known Arsenal to have a 9. Whenever Arsenal's been successful, they've either had a 9 or multiple 9s that could go into that position, and the same thing would happen. But now it's like the one period of time where it's like, okay, we don't have a 9. Like, even when you could argue Arsenal weren't that great, we still had Aubameyang, who
yeah,
was a
exactly.
cold 9. So like now we're actually at a point where it's like, I mean, it's very similar. Like, cool, I like Havertz, just like you like Jackson, but just like, Jackson needs someone else. So when he's not doing what he needs to do, there's someone else that can come in. I'm the same with Havertz. We need someone else where Havertz isn't the right option for that game, someone else can come in. So I feel like Arsenal and Chelsea are very similar to a degree right now, where a lot of problems you can identify in your team, I can probably identify the same problems within my own. But look, final question from me, and then I'll check to see if there are any super chatty questions for yourself. So, what does being a fan mean to you? And can you imagine a world without Chelsea?
It means everything to me, man. Honestly, it means everything to me. Like, it's just, aside from, I know this might be a bit more serious, but is football for me has always just been an escape, from reality. From when I was just growing up in that state, being able to play football in a cage, playing chess or Wembley and all these things has always been an escape, form of joy for me. Um, and just having something to be around, like, to support. I've made genuine, like, lifelong friends, connections with people just off being a Chelsea fan, just going to games, meeting people, sharing a bond. That I don't know what you go through at home, you don't know what I'm going through, what health issues, whatever you're dealing with, but we connect off this game. 11, 12 guys on the pitch, 22 guys on the pitch, sorry, just like running around. Like, that's the bond, isn't it? So of course it means being a fan. It means the utmost to me, and just having a sense of community. Like, even aside from just my club, like the tribalism, like even what we've got here now in this YouTube. You talk about the village, innit?
Yeah,
And
man.
it's mad. Like, we can reach out to each other. Yo, like, what you saying? This and that. We're building relationships, bonds. Like, supporting each other. Like, we're all helping each other grow. Pause. Like, I'm looking at that, and I'm just like, this all comes from being fans of the game. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's a beautiful thing, man. As for, do I see a life without Chelsea? No chance. I did actually think, yeah, we was, when obviously the sanctions and happened, I did think we was gonna fold. I actually was worried about that. I thought it was gonna go into administration or something. Even now, yeah, as much as obviously I've got standard, and I look at more so just the money that's been spent. That's why I'm really like, yeah, okay, let's go for the league, let's go for the league. But when it actually happened and we got sanctioned, and Roma got sanctioned, and they were talking about us going for sale, I was thinking to myself, fuck, man, we might end up just being a mid-table team, like straight relegation battles moving forward. Like, we're gonna be like Leeds. We could even just, so even just being the fact that we're able to be in the Premier League, like, I know it sounds crazy, but it means that, like, it's right. At least Chelsea's here. That's how I look at it. Like, okay, at least we're here. We're still the topic of conversation. Oh, like, we're cool. We're in top four. I'm not happy about it. That's me being a spoiled brat, ultimately. Because if you told me at the time, okay, yeah, we was worried about Chelsea not even being Chelsea no more. So you told me, okay, yeah, you guys will still be Chelsea, but you're gonna finish 12th and 6th and lose the Carabao Cup final. Oh yeah, I'm fucking taking that any day of the week. So yeah, in hindsight, yeah, man, I can't imagine a life without Chelsea, man. And it's crazy that we almost thought that was gonna be a thing, man. It's mad.
Twat. Well, actually, I don't know if he was about the first time, but there was a time where actually no, he wasn't about the first time, but there was a time where somebody could have bought Chelsea for £1. Like that's how peak the scenarios. I think it was a few years before Roman actually bought Chelsea. So yeah, so it just shows that like there's been many occasions where it's been pretty close for Chelsea. But you know what? All tribalism aside, yeah, because like I like to put tribalism aside, yeah. It would have like pained me from the sense of like I have a lot of friends that are Chelsea fans. And if I had to like watch them go through the pain of their club just folding, like to me, you just sometimes you have to put the tribalism aside and just appreciate that the way that I'm a fan for my club, you're a fan for your club. And I mean, yeah, as much as you dislike Arsenal, I doubt you would ever want to see Arsenal fold because you got a lot of friends and family who are heavily invested into Arsenal and you know how that would impact them in it. So I do feel like sometimes we just have to put tribalism aside and just
100%. Do you know what's crazy? Yeah, I actually like the fact that you guys were competitive again. Like even when we were winning, obviously it's funny. You get me? I can laugh at you guys when you guys were like finishing 8th twice and we're winning Champions League, and like it's funny. But I miss it's the nostalgia in me, innit? I miss the football. I miss the real top four. United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. That's what it was, isn't it? So the fact that I'm seeing you guys are still competitive. The fact that these type of games is like, oh, I'm not sure if you guys are better than us. All like back and forth. I miss that feeling. I want United to be that. Do you know, actually, fuck United. Just off that 2008, I always hate them. So fuck them. But seeing Liverpool in the fold again, like the last part of my childhood, yeah, we used to have we were the better team, but they were winning Champions Leagues. They were a respected team, and then they just fell off. Like obviously they after Klopp and all of that, they're back there. It's nice to see. Like I want that. I like that feeling, like the competitiveness. I don't want us to both be shit. Like even going into the fact that United and Chelsea's a mid-off nowadays is crazy. That's the El Clasico for all the AF dads, bro. So I'm looking at this now and I'm like, bro, this is a mid-off. Like last season's one at the bridge when we're 7th, you guys are 8th. What are we doing here? Like, you get what I'm saying? This was a Champions League final at one point. It almost went back to back if it weren't for that referee in 2009. So what's happened here? So I like to see you guys competitive. I do actually think you need to sack your manager. I was saying this last season. I got called a hater. I do think you need to sack your manager. Just the fact that you look at just your project where it is now, and you've got one FA Cup trophy. I look at the fact that we've been in our worst era in my lifetime, and we've won more than you in that span. In the 20s, this 20s period, this decade, of 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. We've had a Champions League, a Super Cup, Club World Cup. We've touched 3 domestic finals. And in that span, you've won an FA Cup and that's it. You ain't even touched Europa League. And even when you got knocked out of the Europa League, at the time I said, he needs to go. Everyone was like, no, we're in the title race. You guys are happy to be here. I understand. Same again this year, or last year, I mean, where, okay, do something in the Champions League then. Or do something in these domestic trophies, like domestic cups. Like, people forget, Klopp's actual, like, Liverpool tenure. He had that one league title, which, once again, asterisks, because the season got put on hold. And then they came back. Fair enough, though, they were in the lead anyway. But cool. He got a league title. And the rest is just domestic cups off the back of beating us, and obviously the Champions League. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, so even if you can't win the league, get these domestic cups in. The fact that he's been ignoring those for so long and then not winning it in the first place. This is like why I got into Maresca. He played the B team against Newcastle for the Carabao Cup, got knocked out, and then still lost. Still didn't beat United on the weekend. So we fucked off a trophy for no reason. So when you guys are getting rid of FA Cups, domestic cups, you get knocked out of Europa League, and you're still not winning the league. Okay, fair enough. You're facing Man City. Fair enough. Then prioritize the other ones. If that's how you feel, if you want to concede to the fact that it's Man City, they're gonna win regardless, then go for the other ones. It's upsetting, man. I can't lie. I feel for you in the sense that because you haven't won in so long, and it scares me because I feel like this is what we're becoming as a club slowly. But because you haven't won in so long, the fact that you're just in the fold, yeah, it feels so nice that, oh no, I don't want to leave it. Because I'm looking at you guys before, when Wenger in his last years, yeah, when Wenger was finishing in the Champions League, winning FA Cups, but he weren't winning the league, you lot standards were very high. Get him gone. Get him gone. And mind you, he wasn't even getting backed financially. Get him gone. Get him gone. Get him gone. Cool, you got him gone. Your replacement manager comes, takes you guys to a European final immediately. You got him gone. Standards are high. I'm not gonna. You guys are a top big team. Like the fact, I'll never turn my nose at standards. So standards are high. You got rid of him. You brought a manager now. He's finished eighth, fifth, second. Not one trophy in that span. And I'm thinking, okay, what is he doing? And he's getting backed by 700, 800 million. What's he doing that Wenger didn't do? Why are the pitchforks not out for him? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a very good question. Like even me myself, like I've lost faith, and I'm slowly moving towards being Arteta. But the thing is with me, I'm not the type of fan that's like in or out in it. Like I'm not like I'm not polarized like that in it. Like I'm someone who more like will usually be somewhere in the middle and can acknowledge both positives and negatives that are happening within my club in it. I very rarely I'm like so leaning to one side. I don't think to me it doesn't make sense in it, because unless you're telling me that like all the Arsenal fans are going to arrange a protest and actually do something that will actually make change, then there's no point me just talking about it in every conversation or on every stream. There's no point. But for example, when I'm watching games, if there's things that I need to call out, I will always call them out in it. So, but I do hear what you're saying. I'm also not the person that judges people for their stance on the manager as well. Like if people are Arteta out, then cool, you're Arteta out. If people are Arteta in, cool, you're Arteta in. You all have your reasons. I'm just here more so to listen. I can't really tell you if your reasons are right or wrong, because they're your reasons, right? Your opinions. And I do believe everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I do feel there are some fans within the Arsenal fan base that don't accept the current reality of what Arsenal's facing, and have started doing a lot of Marvel multiverse and, you know, the Doctor Strange thing, and peeking into other dimensions and saying, what about this, if this happens? And they are, imagine if we never got the red cards. But I'm like, it's already happened. So it is the reality. So talk about the reality, not the ifs and the buts and the maybes. But yeah, man. Love for coming through, CB. Like I've enjoyed the conversation. Yeah, it has been a good conversation. You know, I know the chat's been pretty active. I hope that they've enjoyed it as well. I just want to say big up Alfie for gifting 5 memberships. Like Alfie's a massive supporter of the channel, and I appreciate all that you've done for the channel so far. You're a legend. So big up Alfie. I hope that you guys put some W's in the chat when Alfie did gift those memberships. And to everyone that got a membership, I hope that you thanked Alfie as well. He's a legend. Obviously, you know, make sure on your way out you're throwing them kunais at the like button if you haven't already. We do need to get as many likes as possible. Please, after the stream has ended, just drop a comment on the stream so it can get pushed out to more beautiful people in the world. That algorithm on YouTube is something very difficult to master, but if you're commenting and liking the video, it will help greatly. Again, make sure you're subscribing to CB. His channel is in the title. There are no excuses for you to not click on it. Go over there, subscribe to him, and check out what he's doing. Have you got anything coming up in the foreseeable future that I guess the people then can look forward to?
I'm literally, I just made my channel last month, so I'm gonna do my first live on Monday.
Cool.
Just literally all fans welcome. It's not even just Chelsea, but we're just gonna really talk about just the current situation where we are now. And I have some couple guests on the panel. You're more than welcome to come through as well, my bro. And yeah, man, we're just building literally. So Monday will be the first live stream, and I'm just always gonna have videos and so forth in between.
Okay. Someone said that your link wasn't
Link
working.
ain't working. What?
I've updated it. It should be working. I've updated it. If it's not working, again, it should work. His link is also in the description. Wait, you know what? I'll even do it. Just because they said the link's not working. Give me a moment.
Actually, I'm on 280 something subs, so if you guys can help me get to 300, I'd appreciate that one for sure.
Cool. I have. Oh, it's working now. Cool, it's working now. But just in case, I've also posted it in the chat, so you can just click on the link from the chat. Make sure you're going over there and supporting CB because he is new to this. Well, he's not new in the sense he's been doing content for a while, but his channel is new and he's now really starting to push it. So just make sure you're supporting him because the village hidden in the north is a village that supports everybody. And yeah, I'll be back later on at 5 o'clock and we'll be doing another About the Fan. So hit that bell so you're notified when the stream gets made to find out who's going to be the next guest. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch y'all later.